peace and ground and courage. Right where this meets you, as you are. I invite you to move with this invitation by foot or by wheelchair, or just find a comfortable spot and move with me with the video. And as you move, I invite you and me, all of us, to be with, to allow, to tend to what is actually going on inside the realm of the heart, inside the realm of the gut, of the body, pain, dreams, aches, cries, confusion. Wherever you find yourself, that you're honoring and just being with the noises that surround you. This is being recorded at a public park, so we just move with all the different spaces and things that share the space with us. If you are near trees, I invite you to seek wisdom from the roots of mature trees, to seek wisdom from the trunks of trees that meet us right where we are, to seek wisdom from the branches reaching high into the sky, into what's possible, into new air, new wind, new ways of threading from where we've gone, what we've learned, where could we go. So we're just honoring what's actually going on in each of us. We're honoring what's outside of us and around us. We're honoring what's reaching high above us. Honoring our humility. Honoring the spaces and places that we will never understand or fully know. That we will never know what it is like to walk and move and rise and survive in the skin of another. That if you are white, you will never know. That we will never know. And how could we ever have the moral authority around what it is like to move and breathe and survive in this time in black skin? And so we just invite humility and letting go. I invite us to move with deeper questions around our day-to-day existing. That so much of our trouble and hardship and stress and weight has come from being defined as producers on a production line, constantly doing, proving, posturing, proving our worthiness as a human being by ways of money, by ways of extraction, taking from the land, taking from each other. And so with these complicated, difficult, heavy conditions inside of each of us, affecting each of us in unique and particular ways, how in our movement, honoring our aches and our deep truths, how are we moving into the wider, more expansive fields where we can be of a way to envision, to rearrange our lives, where human love and human thriving and human healing and human dignity is at the center of everything we do, touch, say, and be. And that we don't lose ourselves in party lines and top-down infrastructures that have harmed so much of our capacity to love each other better. But that the natural world, that earth, that the trees, that the flowing water, that the rolling sky, that the patient and sometimes heavy breezes wake us up, calm us down, and teach us so many things that, I believe with you imperfectly, that we already know deep down. And through so many different forces, self-imposed, externally imposed, have buried our capacity to be creative and resilient, saying no to these forces of top-down, these forces of controlling patterns, these forces of what is mine is not yours, protecting and overprotecting what is mine, taking and taking without any end in sight. And that we fall into humility as we move. We fall into creative healing and imagining, wow, more of our homes and spaces to be shared, to be open and not closed and locked off. More healing of trauma and disconnection and isolation, instead of further isolating, further locking up, further separating. That we reach into our neighbors and our communities with risk and humility, and not demanding or expecting anything. That we can, in our bodies and in our lives, one step, one roll at a time, be of a way that is more human in all that we do, in all that we say, in all of our being. That integration is so needed for the world, for the birds, for healthy, clean water, for the sky, for you, for me, for all of our sisters, brothers, non-binary beloveds. That the deep work together, falling and constantly falling, is rooted so much in our capacity to feel safe in ourselves. That our safety in ourselves, that our safety in the natural world, that our safety in one another wins out unquestionably before, so far before, the safety in the dollar, the safety in top-down systems that we are so many of us are so far from understanding. Safety in these positions and these postures that are often spouted from screens and podiums. That we have a complex and unique and fumbling journey into our own sense of ground and agency, thus giving way to humility, undefensive stances, unquestionable justice and Black Lives Matter, unquestionable reparations and healing and rearranging and constantly dismantling systems that separate our Indigenous brothers, sisters, non-binary, that these things, these are unquestionable spaces, because ultimately what hurts you hurts me, because I've gotten to a place where I, as Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman guides, where we can touch and hear the sound of the genuine in ourselves, giving way to hear and honor and respect the sound of the genuine in one another. So I just invite you to move with those vibrations, with those words, with those aches, however they meet you, whatever arises in you as you listen, to note it, to ponder it, to absorb it. I just invite you to just move for a while with these aches, to know that you are not alone and I am with you, that we are with one another. We have to be. And if we truly believe that we are in this together, that it will most definitely cost us time, resources, defaults, anything that we cling to, beliefs, postures. Beloveds, I believe so deeply that we have what it takes to be creative and more human. So I invite you with me, as you are, as we are, to open and deepen, to move our precious bodies, to trust and listen to the trees, to lay down the defaults, to release the grips, and to go into a radical wonder. A radical wonder in all areas: our housing, our dollars, our gifts, our passions, our relationships, our neighborhoods, our natural landscapes, our feet, our bodies, our hearts, our spirit, all the gods that we pray to, that we go into these places with openness and wonder and ground, to be of a way, to be with our lives of a way. That is more human and more healing for all. Peace and courage.